going to be doing a shoulder mobility, strength, scapular control type class today, which is also just going to be a regular old Pilates class, just with a little bit of a scap focus. So if you've got a TheraBand, a stretchy band, that would be ideal. You can substitute it with weights, but it's not going to feel quite the same. I've also got just a pillow for when we do some kneeling stuff. We won't be doing shoulders the whole time, so don't worry too much if you don't have all of the stuff. But let's start with our roll downs as we normally do. So feet are planted flat, standing up as tall as we can, engaging that core. Nice big breath in, and we're going to roll down, letting those arms hang. Breathing in at the floor. Exhale, tummy to spine, rolling up, straightening up those knees. Breath in at the top and rolling down. 3 times as we always do. Just noticing a little bit of tightness in my hamstrings from yesterday evening. I knew that would happen as soon as I started those roller exercises. This is the last one. Not as bad as I thought they would be though. That's good. Rolling up. Taking those arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Let's move into some side bends. Breathing into tilt, breathing out on the way up. Into tilt, out, on the way up, just as we always do. Seeing as we're sort of focusing on shoulders today, just really make sure you're drawing those scaps down towards your back pocket, that your neck feels nice and long. All the good things. And this class will eventually make its way up onto the online platform, so not that anyone who's not here is really going to notice, but if you ever want to take the class again, I will make sure it gets up there. As with all the classes, eventually they do make their way online. And this class is for just increasing scap mobility and strength for varying levels of, not injury, but sort of awareness, I suppose. So if you know that your shoulders are not that mobile, or you know that they're a little bit tight, or you have had some kind of shoulder injury, you can use this class to help get yourself back on track, but just be aware that some exercises you might not quite be ready for, and some might feel a little bit too easy. So just take it all with a grain of salt and make sure you modify to suit your level today. This is the last one each side. And last one. And we'll move back through center, turning the palms to face the ceiling, bending the knees, double twist. And many of these exercises, if you've been coming to my classes for a long time, we do them anyway, but it's just nice to know that we will have eventually a series of classes for this kind of particular focus area. So we'll do one a week for a little while until we've got a series, something like that. And a couple more times here. Unscrewing the spine, unwinding, getting those obliques going feels nice. This is the last one. And then we'll come back to center, taking the arms down, give the shoulders a bit of a roll. So we're just going to take the hands on the hips and take the feet wide. We'll be doing lots of upper body stuff, so there's no need to get the arms involved right at the beginning. Legs are turned out, hips are turned out, feet are turned out. Just moving into a few just mini knee bends here. Still got to get a full body workout, so we mustn't forget about our lower body today. See how you're feeling. Maybe you feel tight in your inner thighs. Maybe you've got sore quads. Who knows? Bend. Stretch. Feel that wrapping around of the glutes, drawing your sit bones together as we straighten the knees. We want to make sure we're pulling up the kneecaps, pulling up those quads till the legs are nice and straight. Keeping the chest up, try not to lean forward. If your inner thighs are really tight, you might only get to there before you feel like you need to lean forward. So that's absolutely fine. You don't have to get down so that your inner thighs are parallel to the floor. Plenty of time to get that. Don't have to do it today. All right, so here we are, little pulses, keeping that chest up, pressing the knees back. Try not to rest your hands on your legs. Really hold the core strong. Good. Let's lift one heel as we bounce. Lower down and lift and lower. Lift, lower, lift. That's it. Few more. Keep that chest up, keep the core strong. One more time. Now we're going to try both so we can slow it down, lifting our heels, add a little pulse in, and bend, and lift, and down, and lift, and down. Very tempting to rest your hands on your legs at the moment during this one. One more time. Lift and down. Now slide your hands down towards your knees. You can allow your shoulders to elevate here, and we're just going to wobble side to side, just reminding ourselves that we have quads and inner thighs and hips today before we get stuck into the upper body. Good. All right, slide your elbows down till they're towards your knees, lifting the chest up a little bit, and continue to do just a little bit of wobbling around. And then we're going to slide all the way back up, straightening up those legs, give them a bit of a shake. And we better come down to the mat. I'm going to come all the way into a crawling position. So I'm just going to pop this cushion under my knees. So if you've got one there and you know that your knees give you a bit of grief when you're kneeling, good idea to use one. Okay, so here we are in a crawling position. The first exercise for our shoulder blades is nice and easy. You can also do this standing up against a wall with your hands on the wall like so. So if you just don't want to be in your knees, jump up onto your feet, place your hands on the wall. All right, so quite important to, I'll just tuck this in so you can see a little bit better. Quite important not to let the lower back sag like so. So finding your neutral spine. Okay, pushing the floor away, soft bend in the elbows. If it's too much to hold your weight over your hands, take the weight back over your knees a little bit. So that's perfectly fine to modify it like that. We're going to let the chest sink towards the floor, squeezing your shoulder blades towards each other. And then you're going to push into your hands, sliding your shoulder blades around your rib cage. Chest goes towards the floor, squeezing the scaps towards each other. Press into the floor, they slide away. Off we go again, squeeze, widen, and squeeze, and widen. So nothing much going on in my back. Squeeze, and widen. This is all about the shoulder blades. Squeeze. So what we're trying to do is just get them a little bit less sticky. Give them a little bit of mobility. Squeeze and widen. We want them to slide around the side of your rib cage as opposed to up towards your ears. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Nice. Squeeze, release. Okay, so from here, let's just do 3 more times and we'll move on. 3 and 2 and 1. Good. And from here, we're going to tuck the toes and we're just going to sit back towards the heels and then bring the weight forward. So a little bit of weight bearing into the shoulders now as we come forward. Just watch those wrists. If it's uncomfortable, you can be on your elbows. Forward. So we're just getting warm. Back and forward. So really important to keep your control of your scaps here. We definitely don't want the shoulders up around the ears. So now we're going to add a little bit more challenge on. We're going to see if we can hover those knees. So let's come back to crawling position, hovering the knees carefully, sitting back towards the heels and carefully carrying the weight forward. So this might be a little bit too much for some people if you have had a significant shoulder injury, in which case you would lower the knees back down, or you would keep the range really small so you're not putting a whole heap of pressure on those shoulders. And for the rest of us who have not got a shoulder injury, it's very much a core workout. Definitely feeling it in your legs. Keep pulling that tummy in nice and strong. And we're going to do 2 more. 2 and 1. And then back to crawling position, lowering those knees. We're going to open up that back arm, take it all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to slide all the way down. We're not hanging out here though. Up we come, open through the chest and slide down. Nice. So as we open, we want to feel a little bit of a stretch in the chest, in the pec of that top arm. So don't be afraid to take the arm up and take it back a little bit to get that opening feeling through the chest. Last one. We'll spend a little bit of time in this stretch here. So I'm going to press my weight into the floor, my hand into the floor here, and just see if I can find that stretch underneath my shoulder blade. So I'm aiming to stack my shoulders one on top of the other, sticking my hips right up towards the roof. Nice. And let's do the same to the other side. So reset that body, opening up our front arm and sliding it down. Open up, take the arm back, slide it through. Taking it up, opening through your chest, sliding down. And open and slide. Open. And the next one will hang out in our stretch. Opening up. Here we are. Start to press into the floor, aiming to stack your shoulders vertically, one on top of the other. Don't allow the shoulders to creep up around the ears. Feel that nice stretch underneath the shoulder blades. Sticking your hips up towards the roof. And up we come. Good, giving those shoulders a little bit of a roll. Okay, so we can move the cushion out of the way. I'm going to come all the way down onto our back. We're just going to give the shoulders a bit of a break while we do some other things. So let's find our neutral spine here. Just make sure you're melting those shoulders down into the floor, hips, knees and ankles aligned, lower back not engaged with the mat, all those things that we normally do. And we'll just start with some pelvic curls. So rolling that spine up, squeezing your glutes here, breathing in, rolling down, back to neutral and rolling up. So if you feel like when you're doing these exercises that you really grip the floor and it causes all this tension in your chest and just causes your shoulders to come out of alignment, try turning your hands over towards the roof. You're less likely to press the back of your hands into the floor. Rolling up. So you want to concentrate on the lower half of your body. Really use your glutes, hammies, quads, inner thighs, so that you don't need to worry about your arms, your shoulders. So we're going to get our arms going just for mobility reasons. So as we roll down, we're going to float those arms all the way behind us here. So palms are facing each other, and as we roll up, the arms are going to come forward. And we're rolling down bone by bone. Send those arms behind us and rolling back up. So now that we've done a couple, I want you to concentrate on where your arms actually are and how your shoulders are going. So If you only get to there, but your technique is good, then that's fine. Technique as in you're not lifting, you're not using your back in order to get your arms on the mat. We want the back of the ribs to stay down, the ribs knitting together. Rolling up. Concentrate on your upper back, don't let it lift. So if the shoulders only go to there, then that's where they go, because we're thinking about our shoulder range, not getting our back involved. Rolling up, rolling down, and couple more, rolling up, rolling down. Nice. Next time we do this, we're going to get our leg involved. So our front leg, as we roll down, we're going to see if we can straighten it out. So it's going to feel very strange. It's kind of like a pelvic curl on one leg. And then as we roll up, we're going to take it back down. So as we roll down, we're going to lift the other leg up. And then as we roll up, we're going to place it down like so. Lots of work for everything. Hamstrings, glutes, abdominals, back extensors. And we're not using our arms on the floor for stability. That's why it's hard. If you really need to, you could take the arms out of the equation and just have them there to rely on a little bit if you really wanted to. But hopefully, even if you don't get all the way down or can't quite hold the leg up the whole time, you're having a go. This is the last one to each side. Remember to watch those shoulders, that they don't go all the way back if you can't quite control it, if you need to get the back involved. Both hands down, find the floor, even up your bridge. Rolling down. Nice, back to neutral. Hands behind the head. Chest lift and lower. Chest lift and lower. So depending on how your shoulders are, this might not be a position that you like to be in which case using your abdominals and not straining your neck. Pretend that this is a towel, because the stretchy band kind of just pulls on your hair. You can hook it behind your head like that if you need to support the neck there. Always pulls my hair. So that little hack, if you've got a yoga strap or a towel and your hands are uncomfortable behind your head, because you could hold it more out here. Yeah. All right, last one. And then lowering back down. So seeing as we've got the band now, we're going to pop our feet into it and move into some lower abdominal stuff, into some more shoulder stability work. All right, so holding the band about halfway, lowering the elbows to the floor. Let's pull that tummy down towards the spine, and the legs, maybe they're a little bit bent. See how you go. Inhale, lower those legs. Exhale, back up to 90 degrees. So mostly a focus for the lower abdominals and a hamstring stretch. And we'll move in towards some more work for those shoulders. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So we don't want that lower back to leave the floor. Nice one. And you can really take this as low as you want. So if you're feeling good this morning, feel free to take the legs all the way down, up to you. I'm probably just going to split the difference halfway. And we'll do 3 more, and then we're going to come into a sitting position. 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Next time, we'll lower the legs all the way to the floor, but they're going to stay there, so that's good. Leave the elbows bent until your feet rest on the floor there. Then we straighten out our arms, nodding chin to chest. Allow the band to help us roll all the way up, rounding the back and sitting tall. So we want to tighten the band up a little bit here, and I'm just going to turn a little bit to the back so that you can see a little bit what's going on in my upper back, my scap. So similar idea to when we were kneeling. You're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back there and allow them to slide around your rib cage. Squeeze and release. So the tighter the band is, the more resistance you're going to have. So if I face the back for a while, you can have a look. I'm not sure if my top is of use, whether you can even see my scaps, but squeeze them together, round, squeeze, let them slide around. Good, so I'm trying to keep my elbows straight. So a lot of times when I see clients, well, not that I see clients anymore, but when I used to see clients, if they feel like their shoulder blades are stuck and they can't get any movement, then they start to move by bending the elbows. We don't want that. We want to focus in the shoulder blades. So even if you feel like you've got less than a millimeter movement, try not to bend those elbows. Okay, so now we're going to move into actually bending the elbows, and what I want you to do is also squeeze your shoulder blades together as we pull the elbows behind. Release. Squeeze the scaps together as you pull the elbows behind. Release. Try and sit up tall. Remember that trick I have taught you in the past to put a pillow underneath your butt there if you can't quite sit up tall. The other thing you can do is bend your knees, but try to sit up with a straight spine. Okay, so now we're going to change a little bit. So loosen up your band just a touch, palms facing the floor. This time, similar exercise, but we're lifting the elbows up a little higher. So remember, depending on your shoulder, whatever it is that you have, you may prefer just to stick with keeping the elbows low. Try and stay tall. Okay, 3 and 2 and 1 and rest. Maybe having a little bit of a flop forward if you need to give your back a little bit of a stretch. So we're going to now take both sides of the band in one hand. I'm actually going to use my front hand so when I twist you can see what's going on. So at least halfway, depending on the thickness, the tightness of your band. Other hand behind your head. So you can feel already that the band wants us to twist around, but try and stay square for the moment. Really strong in your tummy and your postural muscles. Slide those shoulder blades down. So then we're going to deliberately twist towards that bent elbow. And remember, if it's not behind your head, just leave it across your chest. The hand, that is. So we're going to twist towards the back and hold here. Then we're going to slide our scap out. Slide it in. So the band needs to be tight. Slide it out, not up. Slide it in. And out. And in. Stay on the twist. Keep using those obliques. Twist as far as you can around towards that bent elbow. The hand can definitely be across the shoulder. Just make sure you maintain that twist of the spine. So what we're aiming for, this is a single scap slide, single shoulder blade slide, sliding it out and sliding it in. Again, if you don't get much movement, resist the urge to bend the elbow. It's got to be in that shoulder blade. Perseverance. Shoulder blades take a really long time to get unsticky. All right, so we're going to do the same to the other side. So carefully twisting back through center, swap your hands over. Other hand behind the head, staying nice and square. Now we twist using those obliques. And we're going to slide out, slide in. I know you can't see, but we've already done it on one side, so hopefully you got it. And maybe I'll face this way a little bit more now. So you can see that I'm really trying to twist around through my waist. And you can see I'm not bending my elbow, trying to keep it just in my shoulder blade. A very strange kind of idea if you've never really done this before, if you've never thought about isolating those shoulder blades. This is an exercise that we modified from a reformer exercise that I used to teach. And you can really modify any of those things onto the mat, which is why I think mat Pilates is just as good as equipment Pilates. All you have to do is use your imagination. Last one. And back to center. Let's just flop forward. Oh, getting a little bit of a stretch of our upper back. Cool, we better do some things for our abs, and we've still got another series I want to do for our shoulders, or another couple actually. So you can loosen the band off a little, but the more help you've got, the easier it's going to be for those abdominals. Okay, so we're sitting nice and tall, and we're going to roll down. We're going to roll back, but not all the way. Just before our lower back hits the floor, then we're going to roll back up. So watch what happens here. If I let my shoulders go, my collarbones come together. So keep that little squeeze between the shoulder blades, and let's focus our abdominals now. So as we round the back, don't lose that connection between the shoulder blades. Rolling back. Now we're rolling up. Keep those shoulder blades towards each other and sitting tall. Rolling down. We often do this exercise without the band. What I like about using the band is it just gives us a little bit more feedback and certainly makes us think about our shoulders a little bit more. I'm definitely going to make this a little bit more interesting, don't worry. Add a little bit more for our tummies on this next one. So we're going to find that same position, shoulder blades squeezing, rolling to here, holding. So it's really important that you try and flatten out those abs. Your lower back is round. Let's twist and bend the elbow back to center. Keep the shoulder blades drawing towards each other so we're not compressing the chest. To the back, twist and forward. Good. And twist and forward. Twist and forward. That's the way. Forward. Okay, hopefully you're feeling your abdominals a little bit. I am. All right. We'll do one more to each side. Back to center and rolling up, sitting tall. Just ditch the band for a hot minute. While we roll down, we're going to do a quick little back stretch, taking the arms out to the side. Just bring your back knee in, cross it over onto the floor, and you know what to do, looking over your other shoulder. So turn your palm to face the roof, giving our chest a little bit of a stretch. I'm now going to bend at the elbow. So I've made a goalpost arm here. And this is a nice little stretch for the chest. So don't punish yourself if you can't get your elbow, your hand on the ground. Lots going on in this stretch. It's a nice one for the lower back, but also pretty intense for the shoulders and the chest. And then let's place that hand flat against the floor. We'll just unwind, doing the same to the other side. So bring your knee in towards your chest, cross it over onto the floor, get comfy, wriggle around. Enjoying the stretch, palm is facing up. Once you've settled into your stretch, then you can think about bending at the elbow, feeling this stretch in your chest. Just noticing if it's different on this side. Mine is. Feels a bit easier on this side. And palm down to face the floor. Unwind and take those legs long. All right, that was just a nice little interlude. Let's roll up so we get up to a sitting position. Good. Sitting tall. We're going to go back to the band. So we're going to face the front. This is the easiest way I've discovered to do this exercise, is if you can sit like so. You can sit with both your legs straight out, but I think that this is the best way. Actually, the best way is to tie the band around a door handle and just do it standing, but maybe we'll try that in another session. For today, we'll just do this. So you want to hold opposite ends of the band. We want to sort of stay facing the front here. I'm going to use both hands. We're going to start with the front hand. So my elbow is attached to my waist. Whack a pillow behind your butt if you're struggling a bit there, or you can always bend your knee, whatever works for you. Okay, so you don't need to have it too tight, but we need to be able to have a little bit of loading here. So I'm externally rotating my shoulder and I'm slowly coming back to where we were. So keep your elbow attached to your waist as you externally rotate that shoulder joint. Inhale, back to where we were. So again, you might find that your range is only to there, and you might find that it's still a little bit too much. So if it is, bend the knee, just make the band a little bit looser. Do whatever it is that you need to do to make the exercise achievable. Or you might like to make the band a little bit longer so it's not as heavy. Whatever it is that you need to do, open and close. External, internal. So we're sort of focusing on posterior deltoid here. Sitting tall, using those postural muscles. Nice. Already starting to feel a little bit of burn in the back of my shoulder. It's nice. We want to keep the chest open, the collarbones separated. I always find with this exercise, it burns straight away. Woo! Obviously don't do this enough. Keeping the wrist nice and long, as in not breaking at that wrist there. Let's swap to the other arm now. So this time we're going internal rotation. So you might want to just tighten up the band a little bit. Just get this front hand out of the way. So the elbow is attached to the waist, and this time you're pulling across. And release. Holding the band, however, is comfortable, really. So it's a little bit more of a focus for the front of the delt and for the bicep, of course. Keep your elbow attached to your waist. If you had a banister or a pole or something in your house, door handle works quite well, as long as you tie the band up properly. You can just stand to the side, and this exercise works pretty well. Sometimes you hook it around the table leg or something like that. Just getting creative, whatever you can think of, really. So we'll do about 3 more times. 3 and 2, and then we'll swap sides, and 1, and release. Good. Give the shoulders a bit of a roll, swapping over your legs, starting with your external rotation. So that's with the front arm. Use that pillow behind your butt if you think it's going to help. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. Externally rotate and release. Keep that elbow really close to your waist. That's it. Notice that it feels different both sides. Adjust the tightness in the band as you need to. Let's do 3 more times. 3 and 2 and 1. Let's swap arms. So attach that elbow to your waist. Let's go across, release, across, release. Keep those collarbones open. Try and sit up as tall as you can. Very nice. We're almost at the end, which is good. I actually have one more thing I wanted to do for our shoulders. So I will get through everything. 3. Keep that core strong. 2. And 1. Sometimes, as you know, I get really talky and then I talk so much I don't get through everything. But we did it today, so let's just sit however you want. You can be kneeling, standing, anything like that. Take the arms nice and wide, set those shoulders down. This is just a nice stretch. So we're going to take the arms up. The idea is that we don't stretch the band too much, but we certainly feel a shoulder stretch around about there. Maybe you don't come all the way down, maybe you do. Maybe that was too easy and you didn't feel much of a stretch at all. If that's the case, take the arms, the hands a bit closer together. Breathing in as we take the band up. Breathing out as it goes behind. Breathing in. Breathing out as it comes forward. You can use a towel or a strap for this. It's nice if whatever you've got is stretchy though. Good. Please be aware of your shoulders working together. We don't want to get to here and then go like this in order to get the band all the way behind. If you can't go all the way, just take the arms wider and then just stop when it's enough. That's it. Good timing. I'm going to chuck in a plank at the end. I know we sort of already did a plank, but we're going to do another one on our elbows this time. We don't have much time, so that's good news for my non-fans of planking. All right, so take those toes to the back of the mat. We've got our elbows on the mat here, shoulders on top of the elbows, lifting straight up. You want to really squeeze those glutes. Leaving your knees on the floor if it's too much for the shoulders. This is another great exercise, just gently rocking forward and back for building shoulder strength, but if you're not quite at that stage yet, then just leaving the knees on the floor and holding the static plank. Hopefully you enjoyed this class this morning. Ready for your day. I think it's going to be nice and warm, which is nice. Pretty much winter's over in Queensland now, isn't it? Maybe a couple more nice cold mornings, but the days are going to be so nice. Amazing. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ease in. Oh, give those shoulders a bit of a roll. We're going to make our way up onto our feet. And then finishing just with roll downs, giving the arms a little bit of a shake. Done quite a lot for our shoulders today, which was the plan, so that's good. Big breath in, let the arms hang. Let's just not even worry about them. Really pull in your tummy. I'm not trying to squash my chest on top of my thighs. Keep a little bit of space there. So imagine you've got a beach ball sitting there, and you want to go over the top, bending the knees, let the arms hang. So that gives you a really nice back stretch. Less about the hamstring stretch, more about the back. Last one. Rolling down. Rolling up. And we're all done.